I like to thank the grace of the virtues of the masters and the compassion and mercy of the grand predecessors, transmitters, temple masters, and lecturers for giving me this opportunity today to talk about today's topic, which is how to explain and discuss the Tao. You can say this is maybe parallel or corresponds to also, introduction to Tao or how to explain the Tao, stuff like that. Okay, so I think we had those classes before. All right, so preface. Now, okay, yeah, the preface, okay, is that whenever we start talking about, the Tao, um, we, outside of class, okay, setting, we do, let's say, within the family to the, either with the family, friends, co-workers, classmates, that type of thing. We should have some understanding of the background, that person's background, such as their religious background, educational level, social, meaning, are they parents? Are they, who are they? What do they do? What are they? Okay, so we should have some. All right, just understand. It's their occupation, that type of thing. It's kind of like that. All right, so uh, and the reason for that is because it's sometimes we end up talking to people and we don't realize that they have very strong religious beliefs. For example, like I once spoke to a person and didn't realize until later that person was a devout Catholic. And then he said, "Oh yeah, it sounds nice, but you know what? I have to go talk to my priest or my reverend or whoever, and ask their permission." So it's kind of you kind of right. So all right, so just get some understanding, okay? Then how to approach and how to how much to say, or what to say, to that person. All right. Also, we should be mindful, be respectful, be patient. All right, that type of thing. Okay, it's not an ego contest. It's not a contest to see who knows more. That type of thing, or saying like my beliefs are better than yours, or stuff like that. Okay, it's not like that. It's just information. All right, you just want to exchange information, that type of thing. All right, and some not. So okay, and realize that sometimes no matter how much you know, how much you know, how well you spoke, how fantastic you spoke. Yeah, sometimes the other person, they may have no interest, or they may have doubts or whatever. All right, suspicions, whatever, or they have you know their uh, their views are very, I don't know, rigid. Okay, they're stubborn, whatever. So we have to understand that sometimes even though they may have listened a lot, that taken and seem very receptive to what we're talking about, the Tao in this case, they may still be reluctant, to quote unquote receive the Tao or to accept the Tao. They may look at it as just like some religion or some belief, but that they're not interested, not interested, that they're unwilling to pursue it any further. Okay, so the affinity part is that yeah, they had the opportunity to listen to you, but they may not have any further affinity to want to move forward or to progress, because maybe their affinity is not yet mature, or that they don't have a deeper affinity to want to pursue the style, okay, or to seek the style further. Okay, so maybe their foundation is not strong enough, or not firm enough. Okay, or not deep enough. All right, to that. Okay, so just understand that we don't want to every time just because you spoke to somebody, about the Tao doesn't mean that the outcome always has that, that they're gonna receive the Tao. That doesn't happen, right? I mean, that's not all the case. So just understand that there is a level of affinity, that plays a role. Okay. All right. So then the meat of this topic is, what we have to kind of like say, explain, say, whatever, talk about what is Tao. Then, since we're talking something about spiritual matters, philosophical, spiritual, then people might ask the next logical question is, oh yeah, is this Tao like another religion, stuff like that. And also, well, what's so important about the Tao that I should quote unquote receive the Tao, that type of thing, or enter the Tao. All right. And then lastly, we should just, answer and clear up any doubts or questions to the best of our ability, right? Okay. All right, so let's go to the meat of the matter. What is the Tao? Okay, there's a lot to talk about, but it depends. And once again, it depends. It depends on the level. That's why I say it depends on the very beginning, the preface, that it depends on the person's background and level. I mean, some people, and it's rare, so, it's rare. Some people, let's say, are very well educated in like Eastern philosophy or religions, be it Buddhism, Confucianism, Taoism, and they have done a lot of research or study, so if you know that, then you can approach it from a different perspective, right? You can start diving into the deeper aspects of the Tao, the more, I don't want to say metaphysical aspects, philosophical, metaphysical aspects, right? Okay, so, but the starting point is, this is all pretty basic. Now, for other people who, let's say, have zero knowledge or very little knowledge about Eastern philosophy, religions, etc., we still have to, give them the basics, but you approach it from basic. You don't bombard them with, high level, metaphysical type of, perspectives or views of the Tao. Then that's kind of like, unnecessary. It's got to be more practical. So that's what I'm trying to get at. It's on the one hand, depending on the person, you can approach it from a more philosophical, metaphysical perspective, and the other type of person, you approach it from a more practical point. Okay, all right. So say that, but regardless, we all have to say, yeah, the Tao is the root or source of all things. So, so you can say some people say, oh yeah, okay, it's like God. Okay, okay, all right, fine, all right, okay. And the Tao is eternal, right? So it's the truth, it's the absolute truth, all that stuff, okay? That means it never changes, it always is, always existed, in a no beginning, no end, that type of stuff, okay? And also that Tao is, even though we, okay, so that's why, we have so many, I don't know, I want to say labels or descriptions, yeah, you can say, of the Tao. That's because it's beyond the words and labels, right? So now, we can mention, I guess, some people may not be familiar with the Tao Te Ching, even though the Tao Te Ching, I think, is the second most, either the most translated Chinese text, or the second. And I think it's the second most translated text of I think usually after the Bible, something like that. So probably, I don't know, depends. Some people may not have heard of the Tao Te Ching. Okay, but chances are a lot has. So, the chapter 1 says the Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao, the name that can be named is not there. So that's what that's what this is. Okay, so you can refer that. Also, same chapter, the Tao is the nameless origin and essence. So that's kind of like talks, refers back to that, the first point. Okay, so here are here's chapter 1. The nameless is the origin of heaven and earth. Chapter 42, you can say, same thing, right? Tao gives rise to one, one gives to two. So, in Chinese is Tao Sen Tai Ji, Tai Ji Sen the yin and yang. Okay, so the yin and yang produces three, then the three produce many things. Okay, chapter 42. All right, so that's the same thing. Also, then how do we describe the Tao if really it can't be described? Well, so that's why the Tao is changeless, right? That's eternal, formless, it has no fixed form. There's no such thing. It's formless, intangible, right? You can't touch it, you can't grab it, you can't grasp it. It's invisible, you can't see it. It's colorless, right? It's soundless, it's odorless. That comes from chapter 14. Okay. All right. So basically it's because we're talking about the essence. That's what we essentially that's what it is. We're talking about the essence. The essence, okay? That's what it is. So it's similar to Buddha's concept of emptiness. Okay, so yeah, emptiness. So you can look at the Heart Sutra, even Diamond Sutra talks about that. Okay, Diamond Sutra. That's one of the key themes. Okay, it's the emptiness. Well, it's true emptiness. I mean, that's 真空. Okay, that's I think that's sunyata. Sunyata. Okay. Anyway, also, and then here's the more marvelous things. It's even though Tao is it's the essence, the root, or whatever. It's beyond description. It has no real name. I mean, no name label. We just describe it, all that stuff, and you say, okay, it's like emptiness, but it's also called it's oneness. And what does that mean? So this is a little bit deeper. It's the concomitance. That means the simultaneous, you can say simultaneous in the absolute and relative. Okay, that's kind of metaphysical, I guess, abstract. Essence and existence in being and becoming. So maybe not so abstract here. It's being and becoming. That means as is and changing. Okay, so that's okay. So some examples. Yeah, so this is more okay. So this is like the Tao is both absolute and relative. So it basically means it encompasses everything. Okay, that's the thing. It's the noumenon, phenomena. That's more philosophical. Okay, I mean theoretic. It's more abstract, right? Noumenon is you can say it's the essence. Okay, the essence, and then phenomena is all the you can say. Varieties or descriptions or manifestations of the essence. Okay. Also, at a more user-friendly level or practice, it's principle and practice. That's same idea. It's a substance or the function or application. It's stillness and action, emotion. So that's the being, the becoming. Okay. It's the emptiness plus existence, right? So that's 真空妙有. They say marvelous existence. It just means that anything that exists has and it's not real. It's not real. So therefore, it's also empty. But the emptiness is the essence, and what's the existence is just you can say it's manifestations function. Okay, and zero and infinity. Okay, so it's like all right, so it's like that. It's like all the and if you see here, if you see these, then it's basically saying it's like dual. It's like the two opposites, right? These are like the two opposites. So it's not one or the other. It's not one end or the other. It's basically both. You can say both. I mean, but yet it's empty. It's you can't you can't you can grab, maybe you can grab this. Yeah, you can see this, but that's only part, right? That's not it, right? That's not the whole thing. So the whole thing, it's all this. Okay. All right. So it's kind of, yeah, it can kind of abstract. Yeah. All right. Okay. So, all right. So, but then, okay, on a more practical level, then what is the Tao? Okay. What is the Tao? Okay. Decide all these things. Okay. Oh, you say all these things. Okay. So what is it? Well, on a more practical matter, it's the way of cultivation. And then of course, we have to, kind of explain what cultivation entails, right? I mean, not too much, but you can, like how we practice, right? How we learn, how we practice, that type of thing. Okay. All right. I'll get down to the some of the more details. It's in another file, but example. Okay, and also it's the way to enlightenment. Okay, what do we mean by enlightenment? We'll talk about that. You can say the way to absolute heaven. Yeah, okay. The way to return. You can say to return to our original home. Return to the source. That's okay for lost. Okay, lost souls means that we don't know, where we're going, or what's the meaning of life, for example. What's the purpose? What's the purpose? Are we just born here, you know grow up, mature, get an education, get a job, have a family, get old, get sick, and then die? I mean, is that it? Okay, so all right. And more specifically, it's to transcend this, right? Samsara, right? Okay. And that's the Four Noble Truths. Okay, so that's the fourth one. Okay, Fourth Noble Truth. All right, to transcend that the suffering. Okay, the suffering, which is the the samsara. Okay, the cycle of birth and death and rebirth. Now, the Tao on a more very basic level, or narrow, I want to say narrow, specific level, it's basically within humans is called the nature, true nature, Buddha nature, self nature, etc. True self, Bodhi mind, valley spirit, clear conscience. All right, so we say the Tao is, it covers everything. Yeah, it's everything. It's the source of everything. It's the origin of everything. It's the root of everything. But within us, there's also the Tao within us. That's what makes us. That's what's called sentient beings, right? We're sentient beings. Okay, so that's our Buddha nature, right? And the Buddha nature, or true nature, or self nature, is always, it's constant. You can say it's permanent. It's permanent, right? It's eternal, but it's pure. Pure means it's taintless. It has no likes, dislikes, that type of thing. Emotions, desires, you know, uh, 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 the it has no four marks of existence. That's in the Diamond Sutra, among other sutras, right? What's the four marks of existence, right? The ego, the personality, the being, and the life. Okay, so it has none of that. The three poison, three minds, right? Past, present, and future mind, right? It just is. Okay, no greed, no rage, no ignorance. Yeah, so that's awesome. So that's, that, and we'll get a little bit down to what do we mean by how awesome it is. Okay, so therefore, okay, so that's that. Okay, so I don't want to. I mean, you can talk about this so much. I mean, you can talk about what the Tao is in so many ways. Um, you know, you can also, if you want to get more, I guess, dramatic or philosophical, you can say what Zhuangzi said, right, to I guess his friend. I think it's a philosopher too, called Huizi. I think his name is Huizi. I forgot his name. But anyway, they're walking through I don't know, through the forest or whatever. They see the trees and everything, and so he asks, Huizi asks Zhuangzi, well, what is the Tao? Huizi says, oh, it's all this around you. It's the I mean, well, I think he initially talked very high level, saying that it's a source, origin, or whatever. So, and then they just say, well, it seems so intangible. Can you do more specific? Then he points to the trees and stuff, and he goes, yeah, okay. And then finally to the, it's just, well, because it's so grand, right? He's talking about it very flying from a very grand level. Then he got more specific, saying, oh yeah, the trees, and then okay, well, what about the grass? Yeah, the grass and all that stuff. And then finally he goes, well, even more. What's that? The sand, the ants. Yeah, the ants, all that. Yeah, and then finally he says, even the manure of a cow. Okay, so basically, just okay. I mean, so I mean, it just means that the Tao is all encompassing. Okay, it's everywhere. Without the Tao, none of this could happen. Okay, I mean, so that's how it is. Now you could go the opposite way, which is starting from the Buddha nature. And that's from Buddha, and we'll get to it. When we talk about, I think it's the next, the next section. Anyway, you start from the individual level. Okay, so from in. Okay, and all right. So, all right. So it's a Tao religion. Yeah, that's the next logical question. Yeah, because we can say, hey, you guys have a temple, you guys do teachings, classes, you use sutras. textbooks, you have your proprieties, your rules, your precepts, rituals, etc. Okay, all right, organization, all right. But in the real absolute, I say absolute value for the, God, I, or whatever, it's actually no. Okay, it's actually no. Okay, it's not a religion. Why? Because it's the truth. Whereas religion is this. It's just a description of the truth. Yeah, it's one perspective. Maybe that's another way to look at it. A perspective. Maybe that's another way to look at it. All right. And okay, now to be more metaphorical, the Tao is like water. You can say it's just plain water, plain water, plain H2O, right? Okay, just like pure water. Whereas religions are like flavors. Oh, I don't know, orange flavor, strawberry flavor, whatever, fruit flavor, coffee flavor, whatever. Okay. All right. And the Tao is changeless, whereas there are many religions. Okay, so there's only one Tao. Maybe that's a better way to say. Whereas there are many types of religions, right? Okay, and the Tao is the source, we could say, and the religion is the outflow. Okay, so that's like a spring, and then the spring, and the Tao is the source of the spring. Okay, it's like something like that. Okay, Tao is the root, religion is the branch. Tao is the essence, religion is its form and function. Yeah. Okay. So we can say the source of all religions is the Tao, and the Tao manifests in the form of religion. You can say that, right? Or different religions. Okay. And the Tao is the certification, religion is the education. Okay. So religion is like that's where you do the learning, and then when you reach a higher level, you certify, you graduate, you graduate. Okay, so that, and the Tao is to become one with one's Buddhist nature, the true nature, self nature, etc. Whereas the religion worships the deities, something that's external, right? Whereas the Tao is more internal. Okay, that's the internal. It's the internal focus. I mean, that's not to say religion doesn't focus on the external, but it relies, on the internal, but it relies on the external. Whereas the Tao, you don't have to rely on the external. Okay? All right, so here it is. Okay, that's okay. So some examples of some ancient practitioners who we say achieved the Tao, enlightenment. That's what we say, what is enlightenment? Okay, the way to enlightenment, right? Okay. All right. So in the famous flower sermon, right, on Vulture Peak, right? Buddha, held the flower. It's called a flower sermon. He was presented by one of the king. I forgot which king, but anyway, presented with a bouquet of some rare flowers. Anyway, so and this is before Buddha. Buddha was supposed to give a sermon, a teaching, to the king and his entourage, his followers, and also to Buddha's disciples. That's right, many. You literally thousands. Okay, and so he took the flower. So Buddha, accepted the gift, flowers from the king. And he took one petal and just held it in his hands and looked at it. When he was sitting on the platform, he was about to give his sermon. And he didn't say a word. So all the people were like, huh? Like, what's going on? Okay, so only one person in the thousands in the audience happened to be one of his disciples, major disciples, top, chief disciple. His name is Mahakasyapa. He broke into a smile. Okay, so anyway, now this is kind of, this is not the start of Buddha's sermon. Okay, this is probably close to his 40-year, towards the end of his 40-year, teaching. Okay, anyway, so when Mahakasyapa smiled, Buddha said the following. He said, I possess the true Dharma I, the marvelous mind of Nirvana, the true form of the formless, the subtle Dharma gate not found in words, but transmit outside. This I entrust. Okay, so basically Buddha understood. See, so remember we go back, the Tao, at the ultimate level, at the highest level, you can say, or most complete level, whatever, it's unspoken, right? It can't be spoken. It has to be experienced. Maybe that's the way. That's why we say, okay. So Buddha, without speaking a word, well, he did teach, many times before to Mahakasyapa and all the other disciples, but This time he didn't. So, when Mahakassapa smiled, he realized what all the teachings meant, what all the dharmas meant. The Tao. What is the Tao? Basically, what is the Tao? And so that's what. Okay, so now Buddha then basically, passed certified. You could say certified. So all the previous, learnings, sermons, sutras, scriptures, whatever, by Buddha were like, it's like religion, right? It's just a teaching, right? Just some kind of teaching. All right. So like any religion, right? It does teachings. So that's the educational part, right? That's the learning part. And then the final, I guess, I don't know, the final test, if you will, I don't know, the final level. Anyway, there's no, I don't say there's no learning, but you don't have to depend on the learning. Okay. You gotta, take the next leap, next level. And so that's what happened. Okay. So that's what Mahakassapa just smart. He realized that, the ultimate quote unquote Dharma, it's wordless. That's the Tao. That's the Tao. That's the essence of the Tao, or that's the essence, or anyway. Okay. So that's what he said. All right. So he passed on, the Tao, or we say the Tao, to Mahakassapa. Okay. All right. There's another one later on. This is during the, I don't want to say the beginning, the end of the Sui dynasty or the beginning of the Tang. It's one, Tang. That's gonna be Tang dynasty, or during the Tang dynasty. Sorry, I think it's during the mid to late Tang dynasty. Either Tang dynasty? Yeah, I think it's the Tang dynasty. Anyway, okay. There's a fifth patriarch. We call fifth patriarch of Buddhism, of Zen Buddhism in China. Okay, so that came from, he was the fifth generation patriarch after Bodhidharma, right? Who was the 28th patriarch of India, from Buddha, right? Okay, well, Buddha is not considered, but anyway, okay. Anyway, it was Mahakassapa, from Mahakassapa. Okay, he's the first patriarch of, we call Indian Buddhism in India. Okay, in the West we call. Okay, so anyway, the fifth. So he certified, also certified the sixth patriarch. Now, the sixth patriarch mentioned the Dhamma Sutra. It was Dhamma Sutra. It's a Dhamma Sutra. I think section 10, chapter 10. Okay, Dhamma Sutra. When this is occurred when the actor Hui Neng, wrote a poem. Okay, a couplet. Saying that there is no Bodhi tree, nor a bright mirror stand, a stand of mirror. Since all is empty, where can the dust, settle on? Okay, it's empty, so there's nowhere for the dust to settle on. So he wrote that poem. Okay, and fifth page, I realized that Hui Neng is ready to go to the next level. Okay, ready. Okay, so then Hui Neng said, mentioned from a passage from the Dhamma Sutra, said that it's hard to translate. It just means that one should, basically, one's mind should be used, or should be used in a way that there's no attachment to it. Okay, so that's a phrase. Okay, from Dhamma Sutra. Okay, it's let's see, where is it? It says 应无所住而生其心. Okay, that's chapter 10. All right, Dhamma Sutra. When he heard that, when Hui Neng heard that, he became enlightened. so whereas in the Mahakassapa case, Mahakassapa saw the flower. Okay, saw the flower. Hui Neng's case, he heard what fifth patriarch said, in the Dhamma Sutra. Okay, then he realized that Hui Neng realized that what he talked about in his poem, previously, talking about the void, it's more than the void. The void is just half, right? When we come up here, right? It's where is it? Come here, void, it's like the emptiness. But that's just he was just talking about emptiness. There's also this. Okay, so anyway, so Hui Neng, realized that, it's not just only emptiness. Okay, it's not just that. It's emptiness and, okay, or all right. Okay, anyway, all right. So then that's what he said. He realized that, all manifestations or all dharmas, all things, all dharmas, all objects are not independent of the self nature, are not independent. Okay, so that means they don't exist outside of the self nature, okay, or beyond something. So then he said the five following thing. He says the first one is how marvelous that the self nature is intrinsically pure, how marvelous that the self nature is intrinsically free from birth and death, how marvelous that the self nature is intrinsically self-sufficient or complete, how marvelous that the self nature neither moves nor stays, or how marvelous that all dharmas are the manifestation of the self. See, so that's what showed, okay, that that the Tao not only includes the self nature, right, the Tao within us, the essence, but also everything else. Okay, so that's proof that he became enlightened. Okay, just like Mahakassapa. So, all right, okay, so that's an example. So therefore, we say the Tao is actually beyond words. What I meant was saying is that, you can read all the scriptures, from cover to cover, all right? But if you can't, I want to say 体会 or experience it, okay, then you're not going to find the Tao, or you're not going to become enlightened. That's not, okay? So Tao is not, it's not just the words, okay? So enlightenment is the awakening to and realization of the truth. That's what Mahakasyapa, the sixth patriarch, others, right, did, all right? Whereas religion is based on faith in the external side. I mean, they talk about the scriptures, but they also, scriptures is beyond you, right? It's outside of you, right? Also, you have to worship something. The Tao, you don't have to rely on that. You can rely on yourself. Okay, so the true faith is internal. That is, we all have the divinity or the Buddha within. So the Tao within is our true nature, right? Okay. Now, there is a relationship also between Tao and religion. That's not to say that they are separate from each other, that there's no connection. There is, okay, obviously. Well, there should, right? We should know. Okay, so the connection that the Tao is the source of all religions, yet the Tao is also within all religions. Okay, so all right, okay, that's the essence of all religion. Well, most, true. When I'm talking about religion, means true religion, so it has to be based beyond just physical things, okay, and both have the similarities are that both Tao and religion have, right, holy places of worship. I think in Buddhism they call it Bodhi Manda. Okay, that's like a holy place, holy place, a sacred place. Okay, where one worship or one becomes enlightened. So that's where usually the monastery is based on. Okay, set. Both, we all have prayers, precepts, rules, rituals, organizations, etc. Right? That's all. So these are all like physical, tangible stuff, right? Physical. Except both also use expedient teachings. Yeah. Okay. We use teachings from the sutras, etc. Okay. Stories, whatever. Okay. And also both seek to transform evil to good, right? I mean, both the Tao and both religion, most, I mean, unless I'm going to call that a religion, then that's called they call it heterodox or, what do they call it? Satanic cult, whatever. Okay. Anyway. All right. Okay. We want to transform, go from the bad to the good, right? Okay. All right. So, okay. All right. Then the next thing to talk about Tao is that why is it that we should receive the Tao? I say receive. It means, enter the Tao. First step is to receive the blessing, that type of thing. Okay. So what's the importance of receiving the Tao? Well, we should understand that when we talk about the Tao, that once again, right, affinities or it's very important. All right, so those who have the affinity to be with the to be with the with the Buddhas, immortals, they will be born in the time where the Buddha, the Tao, that they'll have the opportunity to encounter and hear about the Tao. So that's, that's an affinity, right? So the fact that, we should let them know that they have this opportunity, or they're willing to listen, to come to the temple or whatever and listen, that means that they have some kind of affinity. It's not just random. It's not random. All right. And at the same time, those who do not have affinities will be born at a time when the Tao is not available. I mean, if you don't have affinity, then okay. Or even, even let's say when the Tao is available, but you have no interest or no connection, or no connection, no closeness, no liking or interest with the Tao. Okay. Now, this is an important period because this is the period where we have the Tao that's being kind of openly, propagated or widely propagated, and it's available. Available means that we have transmitting masters that have the mandate to for you to receive the blessing, Tao blessing. So that's why this is a very, how can I say, a very propitious window of opportunity for those to, quote unquote, receive the Tao, right? What is receiving the Tao? What we call receiving the Tao. Receiving the transmitted Tao is basically to be awakened to the Buddha nature within, right? The unlocking that door, or something like that, the opening of that door. Okay. All right. So that's to open the path to enlightenment and nirvana, right? Nirvana means you transcend birth and death. Okay. All right. All right. Opens. So that to unlock that door. And also it releases the innate, marvelous divine wisdom of our Buddha nature. That's the Mahaprajna, right? The Miao Zihui. Okay. So that's where you get your real wisdom from. I mean, it's original. We already have it. All right. The wisdom doesn't have to come from experience or knowledge or books, that type of thing. All right. So that's why. Okay. So that's the significance. All right. Of, quote unquote, receiving the Tao. And then what are benefits? Some of the benefits of receiving the Tao. Okay. Some, this is not all, some. The most important, or the most, that's most relevant to you, right? To us, to the individual that's receiving the Tao, is that it allows us to transcend, right? From this samsara, right? Cycle, right? And, right? Whereas a religion, yeah, you could be a religious, follower or believer, but that salvation of, religious salvation only allows you to have, good karmic rewards in the future, but you're still subject to karma. All right. Okay. And reincarnation. All right. Now people say, well, when I believe in Jesus, I enter heaven, and don't go to hell, stuff like that. Well, that's, you can say that's a dogma. You can say that's a dogma, right? Anyway, but all right. So, okay. So, all right. But there's no proof of that. Okay. There's no proof. All right. Whereas if you listen to the class that we had, is it last year? The Universal Salvation of Three Realms, right? We have proof that if you, quote unquote, receive the Tao, we have people that come back. We call them spiritual reunions, right? Via handwriting, be it, let's say, our deceased ancestors or deceased Tao kin, Tao, relative or whatever. They would say who they are and talk about things that, okay. And also we have, that just going a little bit off topic because we don't need to talk about we say uplifting, right, of our ancestors, right, and stuff like that. I mean, if you have the time, but anyway, okay. So that's right, uplifting of ancestors, and they could, they have spiritual reunions with them via handwriting, and then they describe who they are and what they did and all that stuff, So okay, all right. Also, for ourselves, we can transform and elevate, improve ourselves, change ourselves, right? Okay. But we can also change others too. Okay. We can influence and change others. All right. And the fourth point is we can benefit our ancestors, i.e., you can say maybe like if you can uplift them, right? Because this is the we're in the period of the universal salvation of the three realms, right? We're entering the white period, right? Transitioning from the red to the white. So we have that special ability, and that's what makes the Tao, this Tao so unique, right? Compared to religions. Religions, I don't know. I've never heard them uplift ancestors, but anyway, okay. So anyway, all right. All right, maybe some voodoo practice. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, but I doubt it. But I think they can speak to the dead, but they can't uplift their souls to heaven. But anyway, all right, okay. So that's another benefit, okay, of quote unquote. Then we can also mitigate, avoid, and even dispel calamities and disasters. Okay, many stories, right? People who somehow escaped a natural disaster, be it in a plane crash, car crash, collapsing building due to an earthquake, whatever. Okay, so we have all that. Okay, but the key is, of course, you have to also cultivate. But okay, anyway, and here it is. Okay, so we have to reduce. We can reduce our negative karma. That's the bad karma, karmic debts. But we have to do it through Tao cultivation, the proper cultivation. Like making vows. Try to fulfill those vows, that type of thing. Okay. Simultaneously, we can then change. When we do that, when we cultivate, we accumulate virtuous merits. Okay, so that's why we can change our destiny. Okay, that's the long haul. This is the long haul. I mean, both these take time. Okay, they take time. Okay, they take time. It's not 1 day affair, 1 week affair, 1 month affair. Okay, it takes time. All right. Okay, and we can attain eternal bliss. What does that mean? That means we can no longer. How can I say? We can, because of all these, right? Because of all these, right? We can then say, hey, even though in the first noble truth, right, of what Buddha said, right, life is suffering, right? Why? Because we have to do this, because we have to do this. We have to, we have samsara. We're never satisfied in what we want. We always have desires. We're unwilling to, how can I say, to let go of things, right? So through cultivation, through all this, through helping others, then we can what? Transcend these, you can say, the human condition. The life is no longer suffering because we were able to let go of all, the desires, right? The dissatisfaction of not getting what you want and all that, all those, things. And we also don't have to reincarnate, don't have to undergo, we're not no longer subject to samsara, right? And also, we can help others. We also help others. So that's why this is, now, it's more specific level. Eternal bliss is one of the 4 nirvana virtues. Okay, 常乐我净. Okay, 乐 means joy, happiness, bliss. Okay, so that's the natural. You can say that's the natural state. You can say natural state of our Buddha nature. Okay, of our true self. Right. So that's what it is. Okay, because it is not vexed, or you can say bound, tied down by all these desires, rage, emotions, all of that. Okay, it's not. All right. Okay, so all right, and then also we can understand what's the true meaning of life is, or what's purpose of life, all that stuff. All right. So that's some of the benefits. We finally realize, oh, what is life all about, or what right? We finally, okay, all right, okay. So it comes to the conclusion. So, okay, it does not matter If we are incarnated from a celestial being, a religious patriarch, or a Buddha, a saint, or whatever, if we're unable to hear and receive the Tao, to cultivate practice, to make and fulfill vows, it will also be difficult to return to heaven. All right. So it is better to be born at the right time than to be born early. All right. So if we're born 100 years earlier, the Tao is still not openly practiced or propagated or spread. And it's very difficult to, even though there may be transmitting masters, but it's difficult to encounter them, to meet them. If you're born 100 years later, the mandate to pass, to propagate the Tao could be over. So right? So that's why this is the perfect timing, perfect window. So if we don't receive the Tao blessing and know the return, then unfortunately we will, continue to reincarnate. So we must always cherish this key moment to be able to hear and receive this Tao and encounter this heavenly Tao community, the temple, etc. So from the greatness of the grace of heaven and the virtues of the masters, we must retain even more a mind of gratitude to requite the grace to return regularly to the Tao temple, to listen to classes, to take part in its activities, to fulfill vows, to resolve karmic affinities, to replenish one's understanding consistently and constantly, never wavering one's mind, always remaining grateful and faithful to the end. So that's the thing about that. Okay, that's the conclusion. Here, I talk about, Tao, between Tao and religion. There is, we have another class, which is what? Difference between Tao and religion, or analysis of Tao and religion. Where is it? Okay, so here's some more example. This is from a different class, but you can refer to this. All right, so there's similarities, difference. What's the Tao and religion, right? So there's a lot. It depends on how much you want to, go into detail. All right, so all this. The more particular, the more there's at least. I have 17. I put 17 here, but the some of the more obviously ones are like, okay, the Tao has this, whereas the religion just teaches you to be good, but you still have to reincarnate. But then there's the thing called the four Dharma seals. All right, that's of the Tao, of the Buddhism, and it's not the Tao does not practice magic spells. It gets four practices, okay? 速流动静, right? The Tao is not that, okay? The Tao, these are all, it could be internal too, but these are all like different methods, if you go to the methods. So Tao is not based on these four different methods. And the reliances, the Tao is basically relying on true teachings, not the person. So it's not based on the person. Whereas in religions, especially cult, it's dependent on that person, right? That individual, right? It's a cult, right? That's what it is, okay? It's based on the true meaning, not just the words, right? So not just the words, it's based on the, that's what, excuse me, when we talk about the Tao, we have a sutra, we have scriptures, okay? But that's just words, but there's a higher level meaning beyond the words, okay? So that's what we call the Buddha nature studies, okay? So that's why, be it any type of sutras, okay, from the Diamond Sutra, etc., all that Heart Sutra, all that stuff, Surangama, etc., and also the Tao Te Ching, all that stuff, okay? And also, it's on innate intuitive wisdom, not knowledge or just pure intellectual understanding, okay? And also, it's teachings of the truth, basically on the truth, not interpretations, okay? Just, that goes to the core, okay? All right, so. And lastly, it's this. The Tao is basically this. That's not just, the Tao is from the internal to the external. That's reality perceived by our Buddha nature, because the Buddha nature is in charge. Whereas on a religious side, it's basically from the external to the internal. We perceive objects, things, right? Forms, all that stuff from the external, okay? And it's perceived by what? Our senses, our 5 or 6 senses, and our conscious mind. So it's reliant on the 5 skandhas, whereas that's what religions operate on, right? On that level, whereas Tao level is based on our Buddha nature. Okay, so that's the difference. All right. Okay, so with that, I conclude today's class. If I said anything wrong or emphasis misleading or anything, I would ask for all the Buddhas and sages and everybody's correction and guidance. Okay, thank you.